Builder fast. What's up, everybody? My name is Wreck-It Rob, and today we're going to be talking about how to rune and how to build and do everything with the Windwalker. For any of you who don't kind of follow YouTube things about Calibria or anything like this, you may not know that the Windwalker is legitimately probably the best 3-star in the game. She is. She's amazing. I use the Windwalker in legitimately every team. Let me just real quick go. I didn't mean to swipe that. Let's see. Colossus team, I have my Windwalker. Leviathan team, I have my Windwalker. Legitimately, I can go through and do this for every dungeon, but every dungeon team that I have and that I use has the Windwalker. Look at my arena team. Let's see. I'm just gonna click you. My arena team has the Windwalker. The Windwalker is one of the most flexible units without having to be flexible. And that may not make that much sense, but you don't really have to switch anything on the Windwalker to use it everywhere if you're using a standard build. So in this, I'm just gonna be talking about the runes on it. Well, you can see mine right here. My Windwalker is definitely not good. I do not have fast runes on this count for whatever reason. I can't find them, but I'm gonna show you the build. So Whirlwind, I have that all the way skilled up, so that slows the target for 2 turns with a 75% chance, which goes up to 100. So you have a consistent slow on whatever you're using, which is really good on bosses when your goal is to kind of just out turn cycle them. So then, second one I use is Gale, restores 15% HP and 100% energy. And if you skill it up, it does, what is that, 45% HP, and it has a 3-turn cooldown. So that's really good. That can help your DPS unit turn cycle and maybe get some HP back if they take some hits. Wind's Blessing. This is the skill, if you gain nothing from this video, this is the skill that you need to have on your Windwalker. I don't even know what the other 2 skills do. Let's see. Healing an ally with less than 50% HP, 70% chance to erase all their negative stat. No, that's unnecessary. Healing an ally with less than 50% HP, 35% chance to... Okay, so these 2 just make her a good healer. So if you really want to, you can use her as a healer build. That's perfectly fine, but there are better options. This build right here is generally the standard one you're going to see, and I think it's it's the standard build that comes with it when you actually get the monster. So these are the first 3 that you're going to be skilling up. So you're going to have Whirlwind, Gale, and Wind's Blessing. And leader skill is just resistance skill for Guild Wars, so that's not really anything. But once again, you want her for this skill. So you get a 3-turn cooldown, you get a 3-turn haste for your entire team, and they all get 30% energy. So that means that they're going to be consistently turn cycling and faster than what they are naturally. So you don't have to necessarily build your DPS units as fast as you would have to without her. Or you wouldn't really have to build anybody as fast. This is a great skill because you can kind of get your team to take turn 1 if your Windwalker is able to just take turn 1. So, as for the runes you're going to want to throw on this, definitely a Swift set. Swift set 100%. You don't need Berserk or anything. She doesn't need to take extra turns. She just needs to take her allotted amount of turns. That's it. So you don't need to throw Berserk on her. Honestly, whatever the 2 set is, kind of really doesn't matter. I have her on guard, and not even good guard runes, just the 2 guard runes I had that had speed on them. You don't need to throw necessarily any of these 2 sets on her. So what I would suggest is, if you kind of don't really know what to use, do one of these last ones that boost all the allies. So you could boost their HP, their attack, defense, whatever. You can use that as a 2 set. But the 2 set really doesn't matter. As long as you get a Swift set on her and it is fast, honestly just pick whatever 2 set is going to give you the most speed. Honestly, or don't even pick a 2 set. You can do a broken set on her. As long as you have the fastest runes that you can put on her, that's what you want. And there's 2 kind of varying builds behind that. So the parts where you really want to prioritize not just fast as possible is kind of in dungeons. So in dungeons, you're still going to want her as fast as you can, because you're still going to want to turn cycle a lot. You're going to want her to constantly take turn 1. But in dungeons, you want her to be tankier, because no matter what, she's going to get hit a couple of times. So if she's not tanky in some kind of way, she's gonna die immediately. So if you look at mine, her HP is almost doubled, her defense is almost doubled. That's because she is on speed, HP, defense. And you can see, look at the runes that I have on here. So at the beginning when I said my Windwalker is not that great, it's because of, like, this rune is a common, that's a common, that's a magic. Yeah, so I have 2 commons and a magic on her. They're not good runes. 100% they're not. I actually have a couple of runes lined up that I'm going to swap in to hopefully get her to be a little bit better in the future. But this is just a look at the basic Windwalker build. So you're going to want to use Wind's Blessing. Get out of here, Origin. Sick of that thing popping up on my PC. So you're going to want to have Wind's Blessing on her, always. Honestly, that's really good for pretty much no matter where you're going, because turn cycling more than your team is always going to benefit you. And that's honestly why she's regarded as one of the best 3 stars. The basic build for her is going to be speed, HP, HP. I have her on speed, HP, defense, just because that's what I had at the time when I got her, because she was one of the first ones that I was like, I need this unit. Because, once again, I preach this all the time, but I came over from Summoner's War. She's 100% like a Bernard from Summoner's War. That's what she is, which Bernard and Summoner's War was just a turn cycling unit too. But their third skills are almost the same. So her uses are almost the exact same as his. Except she has the added bonus of having the single target slow. So you're going to be able to out-turn cycle bosses even more. And if you're able to get rid of like their passive skills or something, there's like no damage that's going to be done to your team. So the basic build for her is a Swift set and whatever 2 set. I would suggest using one of the 2 sets that buff all of your allies. Depending on which one is the fastest, if you're using her for Arena. For Arena, you just want to put all of your fastest runes on her. That's it. You're going to want a Swift set, definitely. Use your fastest Swift set. And then for the other 2, just use your fastest of whatever runes you have. Honestly, taking turn 1 in Arena, especially with like how my Arena team is built, because I'll show you my Arena team. I brought it up on screen earlier, but I'll kind of show you behind it. So I have a speed lead, so that means that her speed is going to increase by 24%. So that increases, not necessarily just like, well, I guess. With this team, because I have Windwalker and an Una, they're both going to buff the attack bars of everybody. So if they're close enough to where there's no gap between them when I use the Windwalkers for a skill, the Una's going to go immediately after, and none of the enemy's team's energy is going to go up. Then Una goes, same thing. As long as all of their energy gets completely filled up, I'm getting a full turn in before the enemy does. And with this, if you look at it, Una attack buffs, and then I have either an AoE or a sleep from the Enchantress, and then with the Flame Spirit, just big nuke damage to everybody. So that's the basic kind of Arena build. It's just throw your fastest runes on her, try to make her kind of tanky, preferably speed HP HP, or speed HP defense, or speed defense defense, kind of just whatever's fastest. It doesn't really matter that much. Especially in Arena, where most Arena battles really only take like 2 or 3 turns. As long as you can put the haste on everybody, you're going to be fine. So, if you're doing it in dungeons, what I would suggest is using same Swift set. You're going to do speed, HP, defense, but prioritize more like the HP and the defense. Things like that. You want her to be tankier because no matter what, dungeons are long battles. So she's going to be constantly getting hit and everything. So you want her to be a little bit tankier. If you're farming Blackpool Hills to like level everybody up, ascend everybody, if you're doing that, you're going to be getting a lot of Windwalkers. So she's incredibly easy to farm anyway. So making sure that you get this fully skilled up is like super important to having a Windwalker. Having her all the way skilled up is going to decrease the cooldowns on both of these, provide you more turn cycling, and ensure that you're constantly outspeeding your enemies. Now, if you're getting to the point where you're planning on sanctifying your Windwalker, what I would suggest, especially if you're using her in Arena, is this one, Stoic. So it increases her base resistance by 20%. Yeah, that's not going to make her tanky, but the kind of like meta in the Arena is to go in and stun the like fastest turn cycler unit, or at least that's kind of what I do. So you're going to want to stun the fastest turn cycling unit. Now you can do this with a fair amount of heroes. such as like the Enchantress, Demonic Swordsman, really anybody with a stun. So having Stoic on here increases her resistance, so that way it's less likely that she's going to get stunned. So if she gets stunned, really your whole team is going to be a lot slower, they're going to take a lot more turns, and your whole team is probably going to die. I know that if I can take first turn and stun someone's Windwalker with my Enchantress, I'm going to win. Like, there's no other thing to that. If I can stun the Enchantress, or if I can stun the Windwalker, then I'm going to be taking so many more turns than them, constantly getting my cooldowns refreshed, and there's just no way they can come back from that. So that's another thing with runes. After you've gotten to the point where you've just increased her speed so much, like I've seen people with 270 speed already on Windwalkers, which is insane, by the way. It is absolutely insane. Once you get to the point where you have that, you can start focusing on the other stats. Well, what are the other stats for like a dungeon build? For a dungeon build, you're going to want to make her tankier. You're going to want to make her tankier, maybe throw a little bit like 20 or 30% hit on her, because you really just want her to land the slow on the boss once, and then the rest of it's kind of just in your hands. So you want to really prioritize speed first, and then after that, tankiness, and then hit for dungeons. In Arena, you really want to focus on speed 100% first, 100% before anything else. You want to focus on speed first, then after that, you really want to get either tankiness or resistance, because you want her to be able to still turn cycle your whole team, even if you don't necessarily get turn 1. If you can lose turn 1 and survive, say you have like a druid on your team, you can heal everybody, so then it's just like you're starting over at turn 1 again, and they've already wasted some of their cooldowns. So prioritizing tankiness allows you to kind of survive the first initial wave of the first turn, and then prioritizing resistance helps it so that even if, say, their Windwalker is faster than yours, well, if they're planning on like stunning your Windwalker after they've already turn cycled with theirs, then the resistance allows you to be able to kind of deal with that sometimes. It allows you to resist some of the stuns that they're going to throw at you. So that's a really good build for it. Other good sanctified skills for the Windwalker would be like Benevolent right here. So it increases her HP, which is really good, makes her tankier. Like I said, that's really good in both dungeon and in arena. And it's going to increase her healing skills. Granted, she only has one, but the other build of the Windwalker is as a healer, if you want to use her as that. I personally think there's better options, but you can. So you can use the Chinook, which is really just recovering HP of an ally. It's kind of the same thing as Gale, except this adds a little bit more healing, and then you have an HP regen effect for 2 turns. Or wait. Have I been reading that wrong? 15% own HP. Oh, so that's a self-heal too. Sorry. Don't listen to me. Like I said, I only use my Windwalker in this build. I should probably build another one for the other one. And then you can really use either one of these heals, or either one of these skills. They just kind of increase the healing in certain ways. Like this one adds a cleanse and grants immunity, which is decent. And then this one just kind of adds immunity and then increases the amount of healing. Both of them are great skills if you're planning on using her just as a healer. But honestly, instead of using her as a healer, where is she? Is she in my storage? Just use your stock Holy Cleric. Her heals, she has an AoE heal, which is better than the single heal you're going to be getting from the Windwalker. Granted, the Holy Cleric does not provide immunity like she does, but she provides an AoE heal and an attack power buff. So there are better options for healing than the Windwalker, which is why this is kind of the go-to build. Other than that, there's kind of some dump stats, like you really do not need attack on your Windwalker at all. Honestly, I have a little too much attack on my Windwalker. I really want to decrease that, trying to kind of go for more speed or resistance or things like that, because I have 0 resistance on her. Well, you get a base of 15, but I have 0 added onto her. You also don't need any crit rate or crit damage. You don't need her to be doing damage. If you're getting to the point where you're doing damage with your Windwalker, the rest of your team better be dead. One last thing to think about whenever you're building your Windwalker is, so whenever you go and you beat Thanatos, a lot of times you'll get skin tickets. So what skin tickets are is they help you purchase skins for your monsters. So like you can see, I can get one for my Hattori right here, turn him into Hanzo, or there you are. Or this one's a little bit cheaper. You can get the one for the Windwalker. It increases her base speed by 5. And since she already has a base speed of, what is it, 121? 111. Already has a base speed of 111. So you can increase that to 116 with this skin eventually after you've built up all the tickets. Like you can see, I only have 13 right now. So I would definitely suggest, as soon as you get the skin tickets, to put them on her first. They're definitely going to... They're just adding 5 base speed. That's a great thing for your main turn cycling unit. If you're not opposed to spending money, you can also go to... No, it's not in special, it's in packs. There's one called a skin pack. Where is it? The skin ticket pack. It gives you just enough that you need for buying it for the Windwalker, as well as 50,000 Kalinite and 30 stamina. So, if you're not opposed to spending a little bit of money, you can go that route, add 5 extra speed on your Windwalker, and kind of just increase the functionality of your arena team. That's pretty much all that's going to do. So, to just kind of go back over it, for dungeons, prioritize speed, then tankiness, then say hit. For arena, prioritize speed even more than dungeons. Speed 100% the first thing. Then either tankiness or the resistance, because you want her to be resisting things like stuns. And then for builds, standard build for a turn cycler is right here. You can also switch it to Chinook, and then let's see. Personally, I would rather use Purifying Light because it's a cleanse. You can also use this build. That's fine if you want just kind of an okay single target healer. Personally, I'm never going to use that, but that's kind of the build you can go with if you want to. Like I said though, just use your Holy Cleric. Holy Cleric will heal much better than her. Buy the skin, it's just got an extra 5 speed added onto it. As soon as I get my skin tickets, I'm getting it, so hopefully that'll be fine. As for runes, once again, Swift set, 100% immediately. Don't bother with Berserk. There's no reason to put Berserk on it. There's no need to put Desperation on her. She's not going to be stunning. There's no need to put Drain. She's not going to do enough to recover HP. Like, there's no need for any of these other rune sets, really, except Agile, any one of these 5, or really, pretty much, just whatever runes have the highest speed. Get her speed as high as you can, attempt to take turn 1 in things like Arena, and you're gonna be using her a lot more and a lot more efficiently. Other than that, that's pretty much all I have for you guys today. If you enjoyed the video, I know it was a little bit rambling and I was a little scatterbrained in this one. Sorry about that. But if you enjoyed the video, if you enjoyed everything that I had to say about it, please do me a favor. Let me know down in the comments below. Also, let me know like what your guys' speed is on yours, because I know mine's only at 210 right now, which is really not good. I really want to get that closer to like 250, hopefully, within the next like month. But I'm kind of just dealing with what I have right now. I cannot get good rune drops from Colossus at all. I just realized my microphone has been super far away from my face this whole time, so the audio is going to sound terrible. Yeah, just let me know down in the comments below anything about your guys' Windwalker. If you use her as a healer, let me know how she works. I can't imagine she works super great, just looking at the skills. Just let me know in the comments down below. Make sure to wreck that subscribe button as well as the like button, and share this with anybody who you think needs it. I will see you guys in the next video. Later.